More properly described as the Gullah War, primarily our people waging war against the United States Army. Within the first few years, we massacred about 1,700 white soldiers in the army, so even the generals were saying this is really a Negro war, it's not an Indian war, it's a Negro war. That's what they said at the time. So it wasn't just a skirmish, they were fighting against the entire United States Army for years and never were forced back into enslavement. It was the result of the Civil War as well as these initiatives towards repatriation, American colonization society, the move towards abolition. These things were forced because we started waging war and massacring the white Seminole on plantations wherever we were enslaved. We were killing them at such high numbers that they recognized that if they didn't move towards abolition, move towards repatriation, recolonizing people in Sierra Leone and Liberia and so forth, then we would massacre all of them. So that was their stopgap measure. They were forced into that position, forced into emancipation. They didn't just say, oh, we're just going to emancipate the enslaved, but we're going to fight a civil war because we're going to try to preserve the Union and get rid of. They weren't trying to get rid of enslavement. We were massacring the white Seminole. If you look at the time frame, within a few years, we killed 1,700 of their troops. You look at the same similar time frame from the Iraq War. Within 5 years, about 5,000 troops from here were killed in the Iraq War. Now we're talking about over 150 years ago. We were killing 1,700 of them within the first 3 or so years. So this was a full-scale war. Those Gullah wars that led to the end of enslavement, as well as the wars waged by Okumpo Yao, Nat Turner, Okumpo Kwabena, Denmark Vesey, Nana Abena Aramita, Harriet Tubman, waging war against the white Seminole Spring. So when we talk about the Gullah, this is what we're talking about. But there are a number of different groups. Gullah and Geechee come from the terms Gullah and Geechee. So in Sierra Leone, around the Rice Coast and the Wanga Coast and so forth, you have the Gullah people. You also have the Geechee people. They have similar culture, similar language. So those terms come from that. And then there's also Angola, formerly Angola and so forth. And then you have the term Geechee. These terms, they're all connected. The Niger-Congo languages from West Afuraka, Afuraitkait, all the way through the Central and South, we're all connected genetically, linguistically, culturally, ritually, and so forth. One of those groups is the Ovambo, and some of the people who are Gullah are part of that Ovambo tradition. And if you hear the term Wanga that they use for ritual medicine, root work, and so forth, that's coming out of the Ovambo language of the Gullah constellation. So, Sister Seshat is going to deal with that, so let's bring her up.
Peace, everybody. I'm not much of a public speaker. I'm more of like a one-on-one chit-chatter, so don't mind my my style. Let me see where to begin. Okay, I guess a few people in the room have already seen that I am the creator of Wajette Yoga. Okay, a few people have already seen I'm the creator of Wajette Yoga, and I want to just share through my ancestral lineage, through my tradition, how Wajette Yoga actually came to me. So just a little bit about myself. So my spiritual practice, I wouldn't even call it spiritual practice, just my connection to spirit began. My mother transitioned when I was 8 years old, and she spoke to me the day that she was buried. She came to me later that evening. I was just saying this to the brother. She told me that some serious hard times were coming, and that I needed to, take care. And she told me what was going to happen, how I needed to respond, and I did as she said, and things came through. So before I had any connection to any tradition whatsoever, I mean, I come from a down south family, super Christian. My mother was all about white Jesus, but she transitioned, and instead of giving me white Jesus, she gave me ancestral tradition. Your ancestors, when they're on the other side, they are there for you. They're listening to you. They want to tell you. They want to guide you. They want to show you what it is to do, and all you have to do is listen and follow and play your part. And so that's been my tradition before I even knew that was a tradition to have. So through just recently, over the years, studying my family's tradition, I've come to find on my mother's side of the family, I'm Gullah. We're Gullah. We come from the Ovambo people. The Ovambo, for everybody who may not know, but in sort of like we're out in West Africa, East Africa, we're Angola, Namibia, Botswana, edge of Botswana. All that area there is kind of like one massive nation of where the Ovambo people come from. And for example, in Angola, probably everybody knows about Queen Nzinga. That's like a famous, the Ovambo people are known for many things, but there's some serious warriorhood going on certain areas of them. In the Ovambo people, the oldest, I just only recently, and this is all of this has been developing, coming through me, and then I'm finding out the research, as the brother was saying, these things come through me, and then I find out the research to corroborate the fact that the things I'm being told are real. So in Botswana is the oldest snake worship tradition in the world. It's 70,000 years old. They found a cave where there is a snake built into the cave, and this cave has carvings. There were offerings left there, and just so we don't try to put us with the cave dweller people, there were no habitation anywhere near this cave, so the cave was specifically made as a temple, and everything that was found in there had to do with the culture of the snake, the worship of the snake, the bringing of the snake, of the serpent energy, and what the serpent energy actually means to us as a people. This is how we develop our power. So bringing back to Wajette, and through my ancestral tradition, we come through the Gullah. So now, for people who may not be familiar with the Gullah Wars are, or if you know the Seminole Wars. The Seminole Wars are, the Seminole Wars bankrupted the United States. The United States was trying to fight these runaway slaves, these runaway people who are the Gullah, and they finally rounded them up and stuck them all on an island off South Carolina, and decided that, at least we cannot seem to kill these people off. They keep coming at us, they keep coming back for us, we keep trying to spend money on them. So just round them up on an island and it'll be done. And even that wasn't enough for our people, because our people were like, no, we're not done when we're done. We're done when we get back on the continent, snatch more of us, bring them back over, get them free. So that spirit has just always been in us. That spirit runs through all of my ancestry. And I just have to say that I love all this fire here, because all of these people coming through these traditions, and we got to be peace, and we got to be this, and we have to be calm, and the height of spirituality is when you're calm. No, we have to bring back our firepower. We have to bring back our warriorhood. And thank you to Kwesi for making it known that it's not about peace. It's not peacetime. Just like Sister Kadali said too, it's not peacetime. We could be I love peace too, but it's not peacetime right now. So the tradition of Wajette. So this is, and I'm going to jump around a lot. Like I said, I'm not I'm a one-on-one jump around. Wajette is not about sitting around, doing some meditation, being quiet, being peaceful, being silent. That's not what this is for. This is yoga to make warriors. This is about my ancestral tradition. The same warriors who were rounded up on the island off the coast of South Carolina, who still kept coming back over to the mainland, stealing people, looting plantations, destroying everybody, and making such a hassle for these white devils that they had to develop a whole military system. And if nobody knows, the Marines are the military system that was created to stop the Gullah people from going over there and destroying and snatching and looting and taking our people back and setting us free. The Marines and the Texas Rangers both were created from the wars against the Gullah. In the last year of the Gullah Wars, the U.S. economy, the U.S. budget for that year was $2.2 million, and they actually used $2 million of the dollars just trying to fight the Gullah, just trying to fight all the runaways, just that alone. So of course, the nation went bankrupt, and they had to sell off pieces of land. So they don't tell you all that. Oh, why did they sell Louisiana? Oh, because they were bankrupt, because we kicked their behind so badly that they had no choice but to try to make some more money for themselves. So that's a little pieces that gets left out. So my personal tradition with Gullah, I have been, like all the places that the Gullah are known to be, and all our Ovambo ancient tradition, ancient snake tradition, still moving through our people. I've lived in every state that is where the Gullah are. I lived in Maryland, Virginia, DC, North Carolina, South Carolina, Georgia, and now I live in Florida. And when in 2013, I went to North Carolina to go and reconnect with some of my mother's family there, because since my mother passed, like that side of the family with the white Jesus couldn't do it. I just let him go, in love and peace, but I didn't really connect that much with that side of the family. And I felt like it was time to make a connection with them and, have my children introduced and be connected as well. And so I went and I was staying in a house that I was going to buy for my auntie there on some air property that we had. So first day in the house, go into the kitchen, and a black snake goes running out from the middle of the kitchen and goes running under the table to go hide under the table. So I'm like, oh my God, I just came down from New Jersey. I'm not trying to, not trying to deal with any wild life in the house, So we had to call Orkin and all this kind of stuff. And the snake, and they couldn't get him. The snake stayed in the house. So the snake was like living under the stove in the house for a while. So I'm like scared to go in the kitchen and everything. While I was there, now I had started Wajette Yoga because I'm certified Kundalini yoga teacher, and because I'm also a Wabet, I'm a priestess in Kamitic tradition. I had been trying to find a way to marry this Kundalini, which is the right thing but is too foreign, and marry that with my tradition, being Kamitic, because I would be constantly having visitations and visions by Heru, by Wajette, and so I finally put it all together and connected that. And so I had not quite, I kind of had made sort of an introduction of a book or about what I wanted to do. Now, when I got to that house, after the experience with the black snake in the house, which I don't even know what happened to it in the end, I went through some stuff while I was there, and I ended up writing in one night 70 pages of this book. And it was like something about coming back home to my people opened up the space for me to be able to start creating this and turning it into what it's supposed to be. Because Wajette Yoga started out as like, everybody needs health and healing, and we got to everybody needs it, and we have to do for everybody. And it was like, no, it got more defined and more refined, and became something that was about getting our people well and healthy, specifically focused. And so, like I said, I wrote those 70 pages while I was there. And I did more traveling. I went from North Carolina, I stayed there for a short time, and I went from there to Georgia and added on some more things. There were more connections that were made. And then not till I got to Florida, where I am now, did I have the real opening up of what Wajette Yoga is supposed to be. Now, I need to back up and throw this back in too, that in 2012, a certain brother sent me an inbox message talking about, of all things, Wajette, whose name I didn't know, I didn't know her account name at the time, sent me a message about Wajette, just the first message, and I'm like, this is one of these people trying to kick it in the inbox, so I didn't even look at the message. And then a year later, I'm talking to Kwesi, and he's like, you didn't read the message that I put in your inbox? And I was like, yeah. And he's like, because, Wajette, and I was like, oh my gosh. So of course, go back and look at it, and of course, everything, was on point. And just like Kajara, I have the same experience with, I just get this stuff. They've been speaking to me through my head all these years. Like I said, since my mother, they've been speaking to me. So I am able to take the stuff I speak to and then go to this pariah. I didn't even know of research here, and to say anything, and he is able to produce documentation, evidence, and everything from out of wherever, pulling it out of the ethers that matches with what it is that the information that's been coming to me through my head. So, I brought a lot of things about Wajette, and after making a connection and just connecting with some of his work on a real deep level, opening up to that real powerful Africanness of who we are now through our DNA, opened up the space for this to be able to come through, and for the purpose. That understanding gave the yoga focus and purpose. It gave it a direction. And so, let me see. Now, what should I? I'm trying to decide whether, because I want to actually show some of you the yoga. So I want to go through it. So I'm trying to decide whether I should save that till a little bit later or start it now. But no, I'll give you a little more background first. So I'm home. All of us, we know that run around life, and I'm queen of run around. As long as I got a way to run around, I'm always on the move. I'm always can't call anybody back. I'm always on the go. I'm always trying to run, trying to do something. And in my house where I was, this was last summer, car broke down. Stuck in the house where I live is like semi-rural. So if you don't have a car, like that's a wrap. Like you're not really going anywhere. So I'm stuck at home, and I'm like, oh, I can't believe we're in the house, and so nothing to do but just hang out and meditate and just be and learn to be at peace with being still. So I'm in my stillness, and they had directed me just before that point to build a shrine that I have now a certain way. So I had these 3 tables. They had me put a certain backdrop, set the certain things on the shrines, and once that shrine was there, it was like the whole energy of my house completely changed. And it was just shortly after that. It was maybe about a week or so after I set up the shrine when my car broke down, and they're like, you stuck here with us now. Like there was no going anywhere. So all I had to do was just sit in front of the shrine every day and ask. So I'm out in the back, and I'm mowing my lawn a few days after this. Oh no, I'm sorry, let me back up, because I didn't even get to the palm, which is the crux of the story here. So while I'm being directed to set up the shrine, I was sent, my head sent me to a certain bush that was on this path where, so my car's broken down, and I gotta ride my bicycle back and forth. So they send me to this certain bush, and they tell me to cut a palm leaf off of this bush, and that then needs to go on my shrine, and that's the last thing that I need to put on my shrine. So, I ride my bicycle. One day I'm like, oh, I forgot. No, God, I got to go out another day and ride the bicycle all the way past this bush. And I go back to the bush with the scissors, and I didn't realize like how tough the stem of a palm actually is. So I'm like hacking. I'm standing in the road with my bike laying on the ground, and I'm like hacking at this palm leaf, trying to get it off, and then trying to ride it home, and it's got little prickles. I'm trying to like ride it on my bicycle to get it back to my house. But I put it on my shrine. That's the last thing. From there, and it was right after the palm leaf when it was like a steady cycle. All of these messages started coming to me after I got that, and I started doing this divination, this system of divination. I took a picture of the little kind of, this little thing that I wanted to do. So my idea was, with this palm, I don't know if everybody can see this, but with this palm, I'm going to just take the palm, so I lay it down on my shrine, and I got my cowrie shells, which I already know how to read, and I cast my cowrie shells onto the palm, and so between the two of them, I want them to tell me a story. So I'm asking, what is it you're trying to tell me? Because I'm stuck here. What do y'all want me to do? Like, why is this my life right now? Why am I, this isn't how I saw things going. And they would give me messages through casting on the palm leaf. And there were never messages that were, what am I supposed to do? Should I do this? Should I do that? It was just messages about my general purpose and my focus, what I should be doing. That's the only messages that have ever come to me through that. So I didn't even consider it in a sense like a regular type of divination where should I move to this place, or what I mean? It wasn't like that kind of thing. It wasn't personal. It was, what is my divine purpose here? And that was it. That was the kind of answers that would come through. So I have my palm shrine going on, and a few days, somewhere between a few days, a week after that, I'm out in the backyard and I'm mowing my lawn. And where we live, like the grass is not supposed to get over 6 inches long, and there's all this, the fines and fees and stuff. And I'm like, what's the problem with the stupid grass? So the grass is getting long, so I go out in the backyard, I borrow my neighbor's mower, and I go in the back, and I'm cutting the grass, and I get bit by a black snake in the backyard. And I'm like, so my car is not working. I'm like, how much slower do you want me to be? Like now, and I got bit on both ankles, both feet. And And at first I didn't even realize that I had been bit by a snake. I thought something had come out of the mower, like some stinging nettle or something, like because it just felt like prickles. It felt like I stepped in a bag of needles. So I'm just running the house and run straight, wash my foot, go back out with boots on this time, finish mowing the lawn, and then I come back in and I take off the boots, and my ankles are swollen, and I look and I see on both sides that on the top of one foot and on the inside of the other foot that I have fang marks there. So I'm like, oh my God, am I gonna die? Like what, But I mean, I've been mowing the lawn for like 45 more minutes with my my bitten feet. So I'm like, okay, it's probably not poisonous, because I probably would look worse than this by now. So I'm looking up, snake bites and what to do about it and everything. And then my ankles started swelling up. The pain, of course, was terrible. And it wasn't a poisonous snake, but snakes, you have to clean a snake wound because they eat rats, they eat, anything from the field, and you can get any kind of infection or whatever and end up getting some serious, people have amputations from snake bites just from getting infection from them. So I didn't take it lightly, but I ended up, I've got some, I took an aloe, in case anybody ever gets bitten by a snake, take an aloe, cut it long ways, and just take the meat out of the aloe, put it on there. I wrapped it up with an ace bandage, and I did that on both ankles, so I'm walking around with these like gloopy pieces of aloe flesh wrapped up on my legs, and I'm feeling so sorry for myself. Oh my God, I can't believe my car's broke down, and I'm just wondering why is this happening to me? Because that's not that was not the path that I was trying to move down. So I'm going through a couple days, call Kwesi up, whine to him, I can't believe I'm going through this, and at some point, I said, you know what, okay, back it up, because I've been doing spiritual work long enough. Like, you can let yourself roll in a little self-pity for a minute if you want to, but roll it up, you got work to do, and, let's see what's going on. So I take it to the shrine. So I go sit in front of my palm, and I ask them, I cast my shells, and I ask them, like, why did this happen for me? Because that's been always my question. Whenever you start to get too deep in the self-pity thing, you have to ask, why did something happen for you? Because a whole lot of stuff that looks like it wasn't supposed to happen, it wasn't supposed to be this way, is you're steering and focusing and changing and shifting your direction in life, and you're supposed to be going with that flow. Stop fighting it, then it won't hurt. So I asked them, why did this happen for me? And as I'm sitting there, so they show me, Wajette shows me this vision of a scene right in my backyard. She said that she told me the snake is a product of the land that you're on. And the land, the energy that's in the land right now is this. And she just put a visual image in my mind of like women and children just getting slaughtered. I'm seeing fire, I'm seeing people on horses, killing people, women holding babies, getting just like slaughtered. And I see this, and I see Native American people with the braids and this type of hair, and then I'm seeing our people, and the same kind of scene, and it's like this long set of scene, and I'm like, wow, what on earth does that have to do with getting bitten by a snake, Wajette? Why are you, what are you showing me? I need some more clarity on that. So at the time, they didn't give me any more. That was it. Vision over. That was the end of the conversation, and they left me to go and work it out on my own. So I think that, I don't know, it might have been later that day or the next day. I'm curious. I'm like, let me see what county history that I can look up and see what actually happened where I live. I don't even know the history of this area, outside Orlando. So I look it up, and it turns out that where I live is the scene of 2 of the Gullah Wars. So I'm like, whoa, like, okay. And this time, of course, they say Seminole Wars and everything like that, so I'm still not connecting, Gullah Wars, Seminole. And I'm like, wow, okay, Seminole Wars. So the Seminole Wars are when this whole thing going on with the government, and Jackson came in there, and they're all spending all this money and trying to kill us off, and they just can't kill us no matter what they do. And they just start making treaties and all this stuff to try to make it look like they won when they really got their behinds kicked, and they needed a way to back out, with some save some face. But what had happened on the land right where I live was this slaughter that had happened. So the battle was going on between the men with the Gullah and Jackson and all these other American people. And while that was going on, they had lured them to a certain area to fight, and then the whole camp where only Gullah women and children was left unarmed, because like everybody was being used in battle. And they went to this area and they slaughtered all the women and children, so that by the time the men came back who were still surviving, all the women and children were dead. And again, like the brother was talking about, what do they do every time? What's the story? Kill the women every time. Destroy the feminine, destroy the feminine, destroy the babies, destroy the feminine, and same thing again. But so this is what they did. So without any knowledge whatsoever until that point of what's going on in the actual area where I live, the land is our people. Like, there's our people's blood in the land I'm living on, and they're telling me, and every day I'm picking this up and I'm writing stuff, new ideas are coming to me, I'm putting things out, it's getting more warrior focus, more direction, and I'm having no idea that the people who are talking to me are living in the land that I'm on. I lay my head down every night on top of where they died. So I'm like, whoa. So, all this stuff is like, what? And just the of course, the synchrony and everything is coming to me, and this is amazing. So of course, this is, take it again, take it back to place. So I'm like, this is what they said, this is what he's showing me, this research, and everything is starting to come together. Now, backtrack again, back to the palm thing. So it was through this divination that showed me that vision. Like, this isn't just trying to make something, like you are making warriors so that they can come back here to continue where we left off. This is the work of where we stopped. You're laying on our slaughtered bodies, and you need to pick up our work and continue it. So I'm like, wow, so this is what I get. So I'm researching, so sorry for the spinning around, but so I'm researching for this, researching some of the Gullah Ancestry, researching about the Ovambo, researching about how they came over here. So first thing I find is that the Ovambo people, who are my bloodline, one of the main sources of divination in their culture was to go and take a palm leaf. Now, mind you, so I took it. And if you go to even in their tourism websites and everything like that in Namibia, who's like, that's when I look at the people, the women with the red clay and the clay on their locks and everything, I'm in love with those people. Like, I think they're so beautiful. When I research going to Namibia and being able to see, one of the main things in Namibia is a tour that you can do there is to go and see their palm leaf divination. Now, I found this out 2 weeks ago. This is the exact same species of palm leaf as this one. And what they would do is take this palm leaf, cut off a palm leaf, just like I did, probably was not the same kind of scissors like I used, cut off this palm leaf, and they would throw, instead of throwing the cowrie shells like I did, they would throw cola nuts or some kind of nut that they had, throw it down right on top of the palm leaf. So all the way through our own bloodline, my ancestors are telling me exactly what to do, exactly how to do it. And not only that, they're telling me when you do it, like we tell you, we will send our messages through you and tell you what it is that you need to do. Like, that's, yes. So this has been huge for me, recognizing this journey and recognizing how powerful it is. And like, now mind you, so my tradition, like where my soul first arrived in this earth plane in Kemet. So after coming through the Ma'afa and all this, and then the level of balance where we are, my soul was like, no, you need to go all the way back in balance. So just go back to your original source and take that up as your tradition. So I'm committed, been initiated into the Kemetic system. This is my path. That's the names that I use for everything. And yet, this is like this crazy journey. And I was just saying the other day, I'm laughing because when I was a kid, the Wizard of Oz was like my favorite movie. The Wizard of Oz was like, I love somehow the esoteric symbolism in it always touched me even before I really understood what it was. But I'm coming back to this, and when I found this picture here, and found that this was their system of divination. This was like Dorothy with the shoes on. Like, I just went all the way to Kemet and same like with the Hotep, and and everything. And then come to find out that in my own bloodline and in the ground that I'm laying on, I'm actually wearing the red shoes. Like, this is me. This is it. I came all the way back. I didn't need to go to Oz. I didn't need to go to anybody. We don't need to go to ask anybody else for permission to be initiated, to live our ancestry, to be who we are. Everything we have is right inside us. Every single thing. And we need to have these conversations, because without Kwesi, I would have never thought about connecting with this without putting together, like, we need the research. We need each other's empirical research. Oh, I went through this. I felt this happened to me. So that we can say, oh my gosh, that's the same thing that's happening to me. That's my story. That's who I'm connected. Oh, your people did this type of divination, this type of ritual. Wow, I've been doing that ritual. I might be part of your blood circle. We need these stories. We need to share these between us, but we most of all need to remember that we have every single thing we need inside us. And so for me, and again, coming back to this, now I'm going to take it into the Wajette thing, but this is our ancestry continued. And I was building this all this time. This book I've been doing this book since I started writing this book in 2012. And I just finished publishing the book. The book just published this year because it wasn't complete. They're like, no, there's more you need to know. I got up and left New Jersey, took off to North Carolina, like the moving, like there's something for me to be doing somewhere. Let me get up and go see what it is. Following, and they tell me, get up, you need to go. I'm like, where? But I can't, and how, and who will I? Just get up and go, and we'll show you. We're gonna open the way. We will machete down the path. So all you got to do is walk down it. And everywhere I go, they keep talking to me and keep guiding me and keep directing me. So this is this is the product of me living my divine purpose, even without even knowing the purpose at the time, just going with what they tell me to do. So all you need is to be connected. And this is what, like, I swear, this is the whole system of this yoga is designed to wake you up to your own head so that you can be directed to go where you are supposed to go. That is the only, when it's that, you don't need anybody else. You don't need guidance, you don't need some priests, you don't even need to do, not necessarily you don't need to do readings, but you don't need to, whatever way they communicate with you, you need to just stay in communication with them. That's all that you need. So, and that's the funny thing is that the whole system of yoga is designed to wake you up to your own head. Kundalini, people most are used to Kundalini. Kundalini is Wajette. This is our stuff. 70,000 years old our snake worship tradition is, because we recognize that power, that serpent power is stored at the base of your spine. Every being who comes in here, just like you have a ka, you have serpent power stored at the base of your spine. And as you wake up to your own divinity, that wakes up and it starts to rise up your spine. And as it rises up your spine, it coils around your physical spine, and it starts to shed energy into all the spaces of your being. So it starts to heal your organs, fix your body, and then all your organs are related to different divinities, different energies. So as it heals them, then you wake up to other voices that you're supposed to be hearing too. So all of it, like, this is a whole system. And then by the time the energy rises all the way up, the energy gets here, you attune to your own ka, and from then you no longer need anything outside of yourself. So the whole purpose of the system, and like we were just sharing, if anybody knows that this thing called the caduceus, the system in medicine, this, the pole with the thing spiraling up it and it got the wings, that's Wajette. That's Wajette and Nekabet. That is the two of them rising up. And so they're using this and calling it medicine when they're filling us with chemicals, poisons, chopping stuff out of us that doesn't need to be chopped out, and calling that medicine when actually that medicine is Wajette and Nekabet. That's the only medicine you need. All the medicine we need is within us. So even just very recently, they just showed me. And again, this is my same Gullah, because now definitely I'm sitting in front of my palm and in front of my shrine and asking them. They told me this is the same, like the way we want you to come back and bring this and help us finish our war that we started and got cut short, is the same way how, like in Asia, when they were fighting all the shogun and all the warriors and all this stuff, and the shogun had all this finance and money and horses and all these complex weapons, and what did the poor men have? What do they have? Nothing. Nothing. They had some gardening tools, each other, and some bowls and spoons, and they had nothing. You don't need anything. We don't actually need anything. All of the medicine that you need is contained within you by activating your own being, and all the focus and direction and purpose that you need for your life is within you by activating your own ka. So they said, just like how these Asians over there with the what do they call? Karate means way of the empty hand. This is warrior. This is a warrior without using any tool from outside of you. They can break boards, smash bricks. If they can break boards and smash bricks with their body, why do you think that you need to go to a doctor and take a pill in order to cure a cold? You have the power in you to cure the cold yourself. All of it. All of the power is in you. You just need to know how to activate the specific tools. So the purpose of this is to awaken you to the tools that are all contained within. When you put your hands in a certain posture, when you turn your body in a certain pose, or when you move your body in a certain movement, all of these things are connecting. They're making your body have conversations with each other. There's movements going on in you. When I do this with my fingers, my body is now having a conversation. My thumb is having a conversation. The energy of my thumb is having a conversation with these two fingers right here. The body is speaking all the time. This is all sacred geometry. And sorry, I was jumping around again. But when I was first initiated and given my name Seshat is the nature of writing, journalism, mathematics, architecture, sacred geometry. And then who do I end up being but the person who is putting together the sacred geometry of the body so that we don't need any tools outside of us. So instead, and even when we're going holistic, I cannot afford all the time to get the $50 supplement that's going to make my intestines clean, or the supplement that's going to fix my cold or something like that. I can't. Everybody can't always afford that. We like life is happening to us. We are trying to swim this capitalism thing and get through it, but everybody doesn't have it like that. So instead of getting what we can, we end up suffering. Oh, soon, I'm going to buy that supplement. I'm going to get that stone. I'm going to get that. Everything is there. Everything is there. All that stuff outside of us is just additional tools that we can use if we have it. But there's no need to wait. We don't have to wait anymore. We don't have to wait on money. We don't have to wait on tools. We don't have to wait on anything outside of ourselves. We sure don't need to wait on pills and scalpels. We have the tools that we need in order to fix us now.
Ashe.
Mm-hmm.
Ashe.
And in the beginning of the book, I actually I rewrote the origin, the introduction to the book, because at the time that I wrote this introduction, I had a tumor on my ovary that came back. I had a tumor on my ovary about 9 years ago, and because my mother died of cancer, my grandmother had cancer, ovarian and breast, and so immediately, when they found this, and I had went in and had ultrasounds and cameras and all that stuff, and they were like, oh my gosh, you have a tumor, we have to cut it out of you, we're scheduling you for emergency surgery with your family history, there's this is immediate, this is urgent, and I don't believe in chopping, cutting, I don't believe in that medicine. So, sometimes your faith gets put on the line, like, how much do you not believe in that stuff? Oh, like, everybody died of cancer, are you really going to go, you still believe in that? And I said, no, there's got to be some natural means of curing this. There has to be, because this is what I believe in, and this is what I've worked my whole life for. I'm always about being natural. I have to find a way. So, I was scared and everything. I was crying and, I'm going to give away everything. And but you know what? Again, tough it back up and start looking around to see what you can do. And I found an acupuncturist who I went to, and at the time, and I had gone back to university, so I was in school, I'm living on, student loan budget and everything, and had no money, no insurance, but I go to this acupuncturist, and it cost me like $250 for a session. She gave me some disgusting tea. It was horrible. It tastes like graveyard dust. It was horrible. And she gave me that, and she gave me acupuncture. And I went back to her 4 weeks in a row. And in 4 weeks, the entire tumor, the tumor was the size of a walnut, the entire tumor dissolved in 4 weeks. Just drinking this tea, I had to drink it each morning and each night, and go get acupuncture once a week. Every Wednesday I was going to get my acupuncture. And in 4 weeks, it was gone. I went back to the doctor. So the acupuncturist told me, I'm checking your vitals, checking your little pulse and the tongue and all that stuff that they check. She's like, yeah, it's gone. The tumor is gone. So I'm like, I don't know if I want to take your word for it now. Like, I'm a little concerned. So let me just go back to the doctor and double check that. So went back in, got all the cameras and the things and the ultrasound and all that stuff. Gone. The tumor was completely gone. So I had completely cured this tumor by a completely natural means. The doctor was shocked. We had always had arguments because, I don't believe in going to doctors anyway, but I had to go once a year. And she would tell me, oh, no, but you need to try this, you need to do this. And I was always talking about natural, and she was always like, oh, God, why do you even come here? And I'm like, I don't know. I don't know if I come here at all. So when the whole thing happened, and the tumor dissolved, I went to her, and she was floored. She was floored. She was like, oh, you're a medical miracle. I can't believe this. This is amazing. This is astounding. Do you mind if I submit your research to science, to the university? And I was like, you can't have any more of my body parts, but you can submit my paperwork if you want to. Sure, go ahead, show them, And that was it. And for years, I think, was it almost, 5 years, 6 years? No, it was close to 7 years. Nothing. I was healed. I didn't think about it again, and I had no issue. Then I was going through some certain things, or like going through a negative cycle for a while. And at some point, I started feeling like these pains there again, and I found that the tumor had come back. And I thought, wow, my God, so that time I really flipped out because I had started to lose hope and think, okay, I know I was down with the whole natural, and I got all these people, and I sent like 1 million people to this acupuncturist, this is the be all end all. But yet my tumor came back. So what is going on now? And I really had to go within, and again, through the whole crying, saying, oh my God, I can't believe this is happening to me. And but I had to look at it. What are they telling me? Everything is giving you messages all the time. So what message is this? Why is my ovary keep talking to me like this? What is she saying? And I decided, because I was really serious, getting into the yoga at that point, and I said, something? If the acupuncture didn't even cure the tumor, okay, there's something, because like we said, everything begins and ends energetic. Everything is energetic. Everything begins with the energetic plane, the mind, the thoughts. So there's something that I'm still thinking, feeling, vibrating that caused this tumor to grow back. So I got to work that out, figure out what that is. And I decided this time to just use the yoga. I had my backup plan, if everything goes wrong, I'm still going to go back. I'm going to find my acupuncturist again, and I'm going to have to go and do it that way. But let me see if I can fix this energetically. Let me see if I can fix this. So I decided to, set up a whole thing of yoga. I set up a whole, daily regimen. I was doing yoga like 3 hours a day. I was doing yoga in the morning, an hour of yoga in the afternoon, an hour of yoga at night, because I wasn't trying to die, So I really pushed myself, and this is while I was in North Carolina. This is in the house with the snake and the whole thing, and the tumor, and I cured the tumor. The tumor with nothing. That's with nothing. I didn't put any herbs in my body. I didn't change my diet. I didn't add anything. I didn't take anything away. I didn't change it because I really wanted to know how powerful is this yoga? Like, how much can it really do? Because they've been telling me to, bring this system out. What can it do? If it can do something this big, then I think all the minor stuff can pretty much be handled too. So I'm going through the thing, and at some point I feel this breakthrough. And as a matter of fact, let me back up again, sorry. Right around the time, I was in a very negative relationship, and my best friend of 30 years died suddenly. She died suddenly of she had a heart condition. She went into the hospital for a routine check on her heart. And and my best friend and I, 30 years of friendship, never one argument, never a negative moment between us, just peace. Just one of the only people on the planet that I have known total peace for our entire relationship from the day it started until the day she died suddenly. So I was in a very, very negative relationship. My best friend died, and I found out about 4 days after she died that the tumor had come back. So it was like I just got hit with this, this crazy, like it was like everything all in one go. So I really doubted my ability to be able to do something about it, because I just felt like I'm lost. I'm drowning. I'm not going to make it through this. But from that point, that was the point at which I had to pull up everything in me and decide to do this, what they told me to do. I mean, this is the thing. Like we go through these moments where we go through doubt, or whether there's a problem that happens and we'll think it's too big for us, and that's the test. That's the moment. I hate the whole test. No, they tested. No. This is life. It's not a test. This is the actual. This is a real thing, and you got to make it through it. That's the only option. You make it through it, or you got to leave. And so I was like, wow, I gotta make it through this. And so I had to take, in the midst of some deep grief, deep grieving, and all of that was actually adding to the tumor. That's what actually made it start hurting, because until then I still hadn't noticed that it had come back. But then in the middle of all the grieving and everything, I started feeling pain over here all the time, and I was wondering if it had come back. So I went and checked, and sure enough it was back. And I went through this yoga like nobody's business, morning, noon, and night, every day. I was hitting that yoga mat. I had visions coming through. I had the ancestors talking to me. They were guiding everything. You need to do this. They were bringing stuff that I didn't even like, movements, postures that I didn't even know about. They're like, you got to do this. Get down on the floor for this long and do this. And I'm like, okay, but it hurts when I do it. And they're like, do it. And at some point, I hit this breakthrough point. I got a horrible cold, like the worst cold that I've had in, I can't even remember, in years and years and years. My whole body, everything was just like, just horrible. Crying, everything. So it's like going through this, all the emotional dam broke open. All the tears that I had not shed about my best friend dying because I was too busy raising my babies and trying to make a move and trying to get stuff done. All of the unshed tears, all of the pain, all of the everything, all broke through at one time in this whole physical body sickness. And I still, and they're like, and I'm like, I can't get out, I can't, it's making me stop. And they're like, get up, go to the yoga mat. So I'm like, you don't want to do yoga when you're like, you got a fever, like 104 fever. I just want to lay in bed and feel sorry for myself, really, But they said I can't, so I had to get up and go and do what I was supposed to. And I did it. And I went, and after that breakthrough point, after going through that horrible cold, I wondered, and as a matter of fact, it was them who told me, my ka and my beings, they told me, this is it. Like, what you're crying, and we just opened you up. Like, we just got it out of there. And I'm like, what do you mean, got it out of there? Like, I'm not relating the cold to the tumor. Don't you know? Sure enough, I went to the hospital. I got the stuff checked again. The tumor was gone. They could not find, with the camera, with the ultrasound again, no traces of it. So I can, with my own self, give physical proof and evidence, and I have all the radiography, all the stuff to back it up, that just by using the way of the empty hand, just like these people use to defeat their warriors, to defeat their enemies, I was able to defeat my enemies with the empty hand by using this. So, of course, that made me, really get on this system. So, that I put full fire into the yoga after that. That was clarity for me. Like I said, till now, this has been 3 years now. No trace of the tumor, no trace of anything like that. My body has changed and gone through a real healing process there. And through the process of doing yoga and connecting with the movements of the yoga, through the energy that it brings, through the sacred geometry, I'm finding all these other stories that all our different organs are speaking to us. Now, this is another thing a lot of us don't think about, the fact that we are, your organs are speaking. Each one of them, they are connected to a divinity, and each one of them is saying something, and they all talk to each other. And at a point, I found that the lungs are the organ connected with grief. So if you and look, ain't nobody on this planet grieving more than our people for all the stuff that we went through in our past that's still stuck in our DNA, and the stuff that we have to face every day as a result of all the things that we have been through. So when the sister was talking about the shallow breathing, first of all, our lungs aren't. We're under so much grief. We aren't even built with lungs that have power anymore. So your lungs are weak, shallow breathing, and then not only do we have these weak lungs because they're struggling through this grief. So the lungs are talking to the liver, like, please, I don't have much to do. Please help. So the liver is like, oh, okay, I got you. I'm gonna send some energy up to you. I don't have any energy. Let me get a boost. What do people take a boost to make the liver get this boost of energy? Alcohol, drugs, caffeine, taking all this, so they're getting this false boost give to the liver, because the liver feeds energy, has a conversation directly to the lungs. So when we're going through this grief that our lungs are saying, please help me, the liver is like, I got you, but I need something too. So we're putting this stuff in us, this false stuff, so that the liver can say something back to the lungs and tell the lungs a story, so the lungs can be able to get through another day, But we're still here, still stuck with this weak, shallow breathing, So in all of the organs, the stomach is saying something, the heart is saying something, and all of them are speaking to each other. And when we tune in, not only does going in stillness tune us into what the conversation actually is that's being had, it's telling us what these organs actually need in order to change their space, change their conversation, change the message that they're delivering, change the message that they're asking for. So I went through the whole thing with the lungs. Now this is a funny thing that I find too, because we are waking up on certain body parts, on certain of our energies and things like that, talking about transformations. Now, thanks to like Sacred Woman and different whole lot of womb, whole lot of bringing back the feminine power, talking about the womb energy, about the cleansing of the womb, keeping the womb sacred. You're supposed to be careful whose energy you put inside your womb, because that's your sacred space. And they talk about how DNA of who's been there stays there. Nobody's talking about the fact that, and now we developed all these cleansing systems based on the fact that, you got to be careful, whose DNA is in your womb. What about in your lungs? It's been proven that every time you breathe in, you're breathing in particles of DNA of whatever is in the body of everybody who is in the room with you. So who do you want to be in the space? When you ride a public bus, you just breathe in a little bit of everybody there. Their DNA is sitting in the bottom of your lungs. So we all talking about, womb, and you got to put this and got to put that. Forget that. That like you can control that. You can't choose not to take a breath. Like there's no option. So something has to be done in order to make the lungs pure, in order to keep them purified. So this again, Wajette, the fire breath. Because we need for two reasons. We need to develop she has given me this purifying breath. We need to breathe it. It's called a breath of fire, the Wajette breath. You have to breathe this breath, for one thing, in order to purify your lungs, to get out the DNA and the energy of whoever is in the public bus, in the line behind you at the store, in the room with you, in a place where you don't like the energy or the vibration of the people who are there. You need to clean that out of your lungs. That needs to be purified out of us. And not only does it need to be purified, but we need to actually activate our lungs out of the grief state. We need to activate it out of the grief state so that our liver stops saying, please, I got you, give me this so I can pop some energy and then I'll be able to help you out, lungs. These are all the conversations, all the patterns that we're not aware of. We're like, why is people just hooked on drugs? Why are they hooked on drinking? Why are they hooked on... There's a conversation going on in our body that we don't even know about. When I'm studying this stuff and I'm looking and I'm going through these different cycles of grief, and everything, there's so much stuff, especially in the reality that we live in now, constantly causing grief. Relationship problems giving us grief, money problems giving us grief, children, families, there's all kinds of stuff every day. So this is something that we need to be actively focused on empowering, so that these grief stories can release themselves from us, so that the grief stories, so my lungs don't keep talking to my spleen and pancreas, so that my liver doesn't say to my gallbladder, oh man, I'm stuck. I had too many pots now, I need your help. Gallbladder bursts. Then they go to the doctor, get your gallbladder cut out. No, they're having a conversation in there. We need to sit down learn the conversation, learn how to speak their language, and then learn what tools we need to give them, what geometry, what movements, what energy we need to give them in order to change the conversation. And then we'll change our whole being based on that. So I want to share the Wajette breath with everybody. If everybody would be cool with with exchanging energy, lung DNA with each other. So if you would, okay. First, let me just show everybody how to do it. It's a. Oh, I'm sorry. Is my phone? So I'm just going to show you this one exercise that you can take with you that is a kind of a starter, at least a starting point to the way of the empty hand for us. You know, our enemies are lack of health. We know about the white devil. We know about that already. We know that enemy out there. But we're forgetting about all the stuff we've taken in from what they have told us, what they have made us into, what they have shaped us to be. That's not really us. So we need to release all of them, but that enemy is internal now. The Trojan horse got into the camp. We have to get it out. We have to get it out. In the first place we have to get it out of us is from in here. We have to get in here, hear the conversation, learn the language, change the conversation, and then once this is ready, then we will be ready to face all the enemies out there. So we need to make ourselves into warriors. We all know this is a war every day of our existence on every front. We are at war, and we cannot be the best warriors we can be when we're broken tools, when we're fighting in here with all the, oh no, my liver is saying this and my stomach wants that. No. We need to change the conversation. That's the first line. That's the first line of defense right here. First line of defense, last line of defense. We need to be who we are here first. So anyhow, let me go ahead and show everybody this breath. It's for 3 minutes long. If you start to feel dizzy or lightheaded or anything like that, then you have to think about balancing your breath and be careful. If you feel, pay attention to yourself. If you feel dizzy, if you feel too dizzy, like you can't do it, then stop, pause, start back again. It's a 3-minute exercise, and if you do this for 3 minutes a day, all of this warriorhood, this inner warriorhood that I'm talking about, will begin to develop in you, and you will find yourself, and it works in every way. All the side effects of real medicine are more health. The side effects of all that fakery that they're giving us is, I fixed your liver, but now your lungs are broken. I fixed you this, everything. It's always something else. The white man does not give you without taking something else away in return. We have to go back to life, to the source of life. Life brings more life. When we heal, it brings more healing. So as I was healing my lungs, I'm discovering that I'm learning how to relate better with people. I'm learning how to be more at peace with myself. I'm learning how not to get flustered when certain situations happen to me. This is a side effect of, so if I had let them cut out my tumor, what would I have had? None of those messages, none of those stories would have played out. By going in and changing the story myself, changing the conversation myself, now I learn all these side effects, like learning how to, like I said, be at peace, learning how to let the children get up one more time and it's 11 o'clock and they've been supposed to be in bed since 9:30 and not, not snap because I have 20 other things that I'm going on through the day that I have to handle and, want everybody to do what they're supposed to do. You learn how to develop an internal peace because your internal peace gives you the focus to listen to your ka and to do what you came here to do. We can't serve our divine purpose while we're swimming around here trying to keep picking up pieces and putting stuff back together. So we got to put it back together. That's our first task. So again, let me stop talking and go over this with you. So this is what we do. So if everybody would, if you could take your thumb and cover the first two, close up the first two fingers here and put your thumb over them like that. Can everybody see what I'm doing there? Actually, pause. Let me get my feet up here. Get in pose. Okay. So once everybody's got their fingers like this, we're going to rest your fingers. So middle finger and pointer finger down with the thumb covering it. Palms facing up on your knees. And we're going to take deep breaths. The fire breath is a breathing in and out. So if you imagine if your navel pulling back towards your spine. So you breathe out and the navel comes in towards your spine. So if you picture it, you imagine it like when one of those big saws is like cutting a tree, like cutting through, slicing all the way through. You're imagining your navel pulling, sawing back and forth, like your spine is the tree, and it's sawing back and forth, so it comes directly in and out. So when you breathe, and it's a real powerful, strong breath. So, and even as you breathe, the breath should be so powerful that you can almost hear that sound, like a tree is getting sawed through. So we're gonna close our eyes, and you focus right here, because this also, besides purifying the lungs and healing them and strengthening them, this is also purifying. This is another method of purifying your head. So, and once again, if you do not have the physical tools to clean your head with the recipe that Sai gave you, then again, with the empty hands, way of the empty hand, this fire breath will actually cleanse it, because you have to go wherever you focus your energy, and this fire breath works for everywhere. If you have womb healing that you need to do, you focus all your attention on the womb. Wherever you focus your attention is where the energy is going to flow inside your being and outside of your being. So you send your energy. So we're going to focus our energy right here, because we're going to clean this space, because when this space is clean, then we don't have a staticky telephone line to get through to our ka. A lot of people still are not connected, or not sure, or they feel something there and want to connect more firmly with it, with more understanding, more clarity. We purify this. If you do this breath every day, 3 minutes a day, build it up, 7 minutes a day. This will purify your head so that you actually get more in tune, get more connected, get more direction, more focus. So again, all the side effects. So we're getting into the ka, cleaning out the grief, building up the lung strength, making the conversation between all the organs come out better and more clear. So, all right, so we're going to do this for 3 minutes. I have a timer on, so I'll let you know when the time is up. And just hold it in stillness for as long as you can. And again, if you get dizzy, the main cause of getting dizzy with this is if you're breathing in more than you're breathing out, or if you're breathing out more than you're breathing in. The breath has to be balanced. So a lot of us, and I notice this is a very big thing, people who are receivers, who are naturally receivers, will take a whole lot of breath, but they won't receive too much breath. Like the people who are, and the people who are givers will breathe out a whole lot of breath, but they won't take too much breath in. So remember, even the things we do, even the way we practice things, tell us messages about ourselves, about who we are, about how we behave, about how we respond. But remember, again, the aim is for balance. Try to make sure that your breath goes in for the same amount of force and power and time as the exhale. So they should be even, okay? All right, so we're going to close our eyes. We're going to focus all our attention right on our crown. And we're going to just begin this breath and make sure that the hands are in position like this, okay? All right, and begin. A nice, fast, powerful breath. I should be able to hear everybody in the back row breathing. And keep going. I'm going to talk to you as you do it, because there are going to be things you notice about your body that I want to guide you through as you do this. So if you started to notice you might get tingling in your fingertips, this is a sign of the energy stagnating in your body, and that the energy is now starting to circulate through your body. So you might feel tingling in your fingertips. A lot of people get tingling in the tip of their nose, tingling in the ears, in the top of the ears. If you notice that you're having trouble breathing after a while, that you're struggling and the breath is starting to come slower and you're having to push harder to take the breath, this is a sign of the weak lung energy, because there's a lot of stuck old grief there. So push through it, push through the difficulty, and try to make it. To make it, we have a set time. It's 3 minutes. It's a minute and a half to go. You're halfway there. And this simple practice can completely change and empower your life. It's so simple, but it's super, super effective. Continue to concentrate. Make sure that the lung and that the breath is balanced, and with the inhale and the exhale. And as you breathe, take note of any parts of your body that have tingling, any kind of energy sensations, anything where you feel pain come up, anything moving, anything that feels hollow, weak, tired, any of that. Take note of all those signs and symptoms. Nice and powerful. With that sawing motion, like you're sawing that tree down. All right, everybody, take a deep inhale. Inhale as deep as you possibly can. Fill your lungs all the way to capacity till the air is touching the bottom of your lungs. Bring your hands together so that they're touching each other, palms touching each other in front of your heart. Press your palms together. Keep your breath held. And then pull from your perineum, if everybody knows where that is, the point in between, under your genitals. Pull the point up, as though you're pulling a string up through your body, all the way up through the crown of your head, while your breath is still held. And hold it until you can't hold any more. Then exhale. Exhale, keep your palms there. Exhale all the way out until every last drop of air is out of your lungs, and then hold the breath out. Keep the breath held out. And then again, pull the perineum, the point under your genitals, pull it up through the top of your head. And just pull it and hold. And then when you feel like you have to take a breath, then breathe in, open your palms up, palms open, facing upward, and again in the posture of receiving. And then just take slow, deep breaths. Inhale and exhale normally. And just as you're ready, then just kind of slowly open your eyes. You can keep your eyes downward for a moment, just kind of feel inside of your body any changes that you noticed. If your body got hot during this exercise, if you feel tingling anywhere, where you feel it, if you feel any pain, numbness, tingling, anything like that. And then you can just relax, bring your hands back down, relax. And then open your eyes and kind of come back to center. And then now's my interactive part. So let me hear from you. Anybody, kind of what you felt, what happened to you, if you noticed anything just now. Anybody?
Yeah, I felt the lightness in my head, and as I breathed, I felt the burning sensation in my nostril.
Yeah, thank you.
I must agree with that. The burning sensation.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. Anyone else?
I felt the rush of oxygen to the brain, which energized me.
Yeah.
Temperature increased. I've done the breath of fire in the sunlight with sun gazing before. And it's like, I feel like a vibrant, it's more powerful than what I was experiencing if you do it in the sunlight.
Right,
sunny
that's
day.
true. Yes, thank you. Yes. Yeah, the seven gates are back there. So this is like when you feel it back there, these gates are opening. It's like starting to open those channels. There's a channel, there's a lock there, a spinal lock in between where those seven gates are, where they open up before the energy raises, the serpent power raises from the base of your spine up to the crown of your head. I have to go through those gates right there. So yeah, that's interesting. Yes, and tingling in the fingers. Yeah. Thank you. Anyone?
I feel, actually I'm still there. This is my ajna, the third eye is very vibrant. Yeah. And it feels a bit of a pressure, but a good pressure.
Yeah. And this is and for everybody who noticed that tingling or that sensation, a lot of people get that sensation opening up right here. Now, if you look at any picture from Kemet, where is Wajette sitting? Exactly. That's that energy. So she's rising up, she's coming out, and this is where she expresses herself once your channels are open. Anyone else? Did anybody feel?
I felt like I was running out of breath.
Yeah.
And then I had to like regulate or something.
Right.
Trying
You have to try.
You know,
Yeah.
but I'm really relaxed at this moment.
Yeah, good. And this is a sign of the energy. Like our lungs become weak. The lungs carry grief. All our organs carry different emotions. Our kidneys carry our worry. Our lungs carry our grief. Our liver carries our anger. So all of these organs are carrying our energy. So when the lungs are not strong from too much grief, from too much stuff that we haven't shed, too much old habits, old patterns, even if the grief itself is gone, but the habit and the pattern of the grief is still there, when we become used to behaving a certain way, oh, poor me, or, not saying you specifically, but anybody who comes in the kind of say, oh, well, why me, and why do I go through this, and what is it? That's that energy. It's sitting there, and it's weakening. So keeping the thought process also keeps, how our mind thinks also tells our organs how to behave too. So when we think, oh my God, I can't believe, man, things are tough, God, everything is hard, our lungs are like, yeah, God, everything is hard, and they weaken. And they carry that for us, so that they carry it. So because any moment when we're not thinking about stuff, especially we're like, what do I got to do today? Oh man, I forgot to get milk at the store. Like when while we're not thinking our conscious thoughts, our body is thinking our thoughts for us. So our lungs are thinking those thoughts for us of, oh my God, poor me, I never get what I want. Our lungs are thinking that. Oh my gosh, what am I going to do? The rent's due next week and I don't have it. Our kidneys, while we're not directly thinking of that, our kidneys are like, they're holding that. They're thinking that thought for us. So all of these things that come through.
And you made a statement earlier concerning how we have to walk, they're being tapped on every end. As far as the lungs, when we see the chemtrails thrown in the atmosphere,
exactly,
we're breathing that in.
Yes.
And they do that. They bombard us with it constantly, every day.
Exactly.
So even when there are clouds out, they're above the clouds when they're chemtrails.
Exactly.
So,
and never mind the pollution from the cars,
So it's like a constant attack.
Exactly. So we have to be in a constant state of being prepared to repel,
Exactly.
repel at all times, repel and build all the time. And as soon as, like you said, when you don't stand on this side, when you don't stand on the side of movement forward, then you're not in the middle. You're on the side of weakness, regression, falling, slipping. There is no middle. There's no such thing as a middle. You're either going forward or you're going backwards. If you sit still and do nothing, you're going backwards. That's the direction. So we have to constantly be opposing these things by giving our energy and our movement to them.
And another thing on that, we have to stop taking nature out of our midst for us cutting our bushes down.
Right.
Let them grow.
Yes.
Let your grass grow, because they know that emits the oxygen that we need through them, the greenery absorbing the carbon dioxide and giving us the oxygen back. Because most of us that live in the city don't have the trees like those who live in the suburbs or the country area. So we need that greenery to emit the oxygen that we need.
Right. Exactly, very true. And another point too about that, thank you, that please remember to have house plants. Make sure you have house plants in your space, in your office space, in your home space, feeding you back energy, giving you back everything you can do to take some of that grief and some of that extra work off of your lungs. Like that's the thing, all those external tools, we have the tools within, but everything we can do to help the within is always a benefit. That's one less thing that we have to do all the time. One less moment or one more level of power that we can rise up, without
you mentioned how the organs carry different, emotions, like the lungs carry grief. When it comes to us with our health, with us having issues with diabetes, high blood pressure, cholesterol and stuff in our community, is there an emotion in, I would say, our stomach and intestines that causes us to eat things that would not be good for our health, that we know that we trigger, like diabetes, high blood pressure, and things of that nature?
Yes. Yeah, no, excellent question. Yeah, no, that's true. The stomach and the intestines both speak. They both, the lungs, the lungs carry grief, kidneys carry worry, fear and worry. Anger is carried there, and the stomach carries, oh my goodness, what is the stomach? Is earth. The stomach carries the ability to nurture, the ability to nurture, and the intestines are the ability to process. So how we process information, how we process mental information, emotional information, regular life information, all of that is carried there. So when we eat stuff and fill up the intestines, we kill our ability to process the things that are happening to us in life. So when we can't digest an experience that we've gone through, when we can't process the experience, then we need to clean that out. Like that's what, so, and then going through, and then it's like a cycle. So however you start out in your cycle is how you continue. So when you having trouble processing something, so you naturally gravitate towards something that's going to continue that vibration, not be able to process. So you're going to fill up your food, your intestines with with processed food, because you've lost your ability to process. When we can process, when we have healthy intestines and stomach, we want to process. Our body is designed, our digestive is designed to process. Right. When we don't want to process our experiences, we gravitate towards things that are already processed. Processed TV, yes. Processed food, processed people. And we take the processed experience because we don't want to do that for ourselves, because those organs have been weakened, because they're tired of processing things all the time that are too negative for us to deal with.
Okay. So I guess in response to this, so I guess that would explain, like maybe like for instance with females, when we get stressed out, like we want to run to like ice cream. You know, so
only when we're only under processing.
Yeah, so I guess that's
when you're healthy, you don't want to run to ice cream.
That's why we run to that. I guess that would explain why because we haven't processed what we went through.
Right.
So we go to Ben and Jerry's.
Right, exactly. So that allows us to continue not processing our experience, because when we're ready, we'll shut all that stuff out. That's what fasting, all the fasting and detoxing will make you process your experiences. That's why most people shy away from them, because it's so hateful to have to actually process your experience and be like, oh my God, I went through that and I can't believe it. Why did I do that? Because nobody wants to hear that voice. Nobody wants to hear that internal dialogue. Why did I do that? What is that for? How come I'm going through this? What's the matter with me? Why am I not winning? How come other people are winning? All that stuff. All that mess that comes up, especially when we're looking at us as a people. So we don't have any winner examples all around us of like, well, yeah, you know, my dad is the CEO of that, and my mom is the, you know, like we don't have the kind of experiences as a people of those things. So we're just fed up of everything we're looking at, and we don't want to process it anymore. So who is the most people turn into processed food? It's us. You know, we don't want to take our experiences in. We have to shut that all down and go through that pain.
Mother Seshat, this is a wonderful presentation, so thank you very much. Thank you for sharing your experiences, your knowledge. Thank you for packaging your knowledge, that we may have it as a resource. And so I wanted to ask, so much what you shared resonated with my person, but I did want to ask if you would clarify the vibrational purpose of the mudra, that is the hand position that you shared with us for the fire breathing. Right. So that, you know, because everything is significant, so that you know this, you can share the specifics of that mudra.
Right, okay, sure. Yes, the fingers are connected to certain energies. So we have lung energy and liver energy. And that's what, so what we're trying to do specifically, because so many people go through this process where the lungs are in grief, the liver is trying to help out, the liver takes in some substance in order to help out, and then we get stuck in that pattern, we get stuck in that cycle. So by lung and liver, by holding these, we're actually connecting with the energy of the lung and the liver specifically. So each one, every one of them has something different to say. So we have these over here, and then this over here is again, so this will be our communication, our ability to communicate. When we want to become better communicators, we can do the fire breath. For this, we would do a fire breath and put out the same thing we did, fire breathing, but put your hands up at your sides so that it's in line with the outer two of the throat. Put it up here, hold this down, and then you do the fire breath for 3 minutes. This helps you to learn to speak to people better, learn to choose your words wisely, learn how to say something to somebody in a way that they will receive it. So there's all the different fingers all have something, and you can also do it with, and this is a mudra as well. This is a connection between all the points. This is a mudra, all of the hands, everything, because all of the organs in your body have trails that they send out. I mean, the same as we have a nervous system, this sends out lines through your entire body. So anybody who's familiar with reflexology, all of our organs send out trails of like superhighways all along your entire body. And at the end of each superhighway is a message back to that organ telling your body. So it's like the eyes and ears, the same as we have, you know, eyes, ears, nose, giving us our external information out here within the body. These are sending messages. So my liver ends over here. So my liver is saying, so at this point, I can tell my liver, this is what I want you to do right now. And then this message is going to come back here. It's going to come back. So that's the purpose of doing the mudras.
Are these in the book?
What you said in your book?
Some of these are in the book. Gosh, what's in this book? And so let me add this too, actually, as you say that. This Wajette Yoga, this is volume 1. This is the first, because the whole entire Wajette series is a series of 6 different sections and each of them has an entirely different purpose and function. It's got 7 different sets in each set. So this is the physical health series. So the physical health series has 7 different ones. One second. And then the next series after this is the emotional health series. That's the book I'm working on right now. So the emotional health series is going to come out with more intro about my stuff that I've been through and how I got through it. Then after that is the sexual health series, and this is about transforming our sexual energy. And I do want to just say a word on that. I'm sorry if I cut anybody off. So emotional health, we need to learn how to get along. All of this is designed so that at some point in time, we can all come together as a community and we can trust each other, because all of us are functioning from our divine purpose. We all have a role. We all have a part to play in the divine vessel, and we're all playing our part. So I can trust you, you can trust me. Even if our exact cultural expressions or the names or things are different, we can trust each other because we understand and we know. All African religion is one religion. It's got all the different names, but it's all one religion. Just like I can touch my liver over here, I can touch my liver at this point of my toe over here, I can touch my liver, same thing. Our religion it's one religion. It's everything. It's African. It's the divine speaking. But anyhow, so the physical health series is just the beginning. So the emotional health series speaks about that, about how to learn to develop self-confidence, how to learn how to be stillness, listen to people, how to erase childhood anger, how to overcome different kind of traumas that we've experienced that we still haven't finished processing. So the emotional health series is up next. And then there'll be a workbook, same as the workbook for this is about to come out. The workbook will be out in, I believe, about 3 weeks. Then the emotional health series. After that is the sexual health series. And in the sexual, and that one is huge. And I was actually redirected because I had an entirely different series when I first developed the book. And Wajette told me, she was like, yeah, that one, get rid of that. That one's not necessary. That'll work itself out through the course of doing everything else. Sexual health, you need to get in there. Our people need to heal. We have so much sexual trauma in our community from all kinds of levels, all kinds of old habits, patterns, from those slave sex farms, all kinds of sickness, that is sexual sickness going on in our community, and it needs to heal. So that the third series is about getting that, about healing out our bodies from the different things that happen to us, about changing how we react and respond to things that have been done to us sexually, things that we have done to other people sexually, releasing guilt, releasing negative sexual past, all of that kind of stuff. That's all in there. After that series is the healer series and that's the thing too, because we have to recognize all of us are healers. We are a community, we're a communal people. We are each other's healers all the time. So as healers, we need to know when to be quiet, when to speak up, when to ask someone a question, when to leave them alone, when to let somebody lean on us and just take the weight of their lean, and how to hold that, how to be able to let them lean on us without us breaking down, and also when to have a healthy balance, and also know when, because some of us let people lean on us and they'll just lean and we'll just snap and break, and then we're broken. Then we would need to go to another healer to get somebody to heal us. So we have to get everything back in balance. So the healer series develops the capacity to know when to say when, know when to go in, have the courage to go in. Sometimes you could see somebody and you're like, hey, you okay? They're like, yeah, I'm fine. And you're like, they're not fine. Do I really want to go there? Or, we need to have the courage to go there because our people need healing. So healing is when you're handing money across the register, paying for something at the store, you're not even looking at them in the eye. You're dehumanizing somebody when you do that to them. That's a healer. rehumanizing them. When I go to, I'm just naturally, I look at people, I talk to people, I connect with people. So if I'm handing somebody money, I'm not looking over here or acting like they're just like some receptacle for my consumerist transaction. They're a person. So healing, just rehumanizing them through the day, through a long day of people not looking at them, not interacting with them, not saying anything. That's a level of healing. All these levels, we have to awaken to our own capacity of what it is that we have to bring. Sometimes the healer is the person who's like, you're wrong, you effing better not ever do that again, because some people like just doing their thing and whatever and running around unchecked, and the healer is, I will not allow you to continue the behavior that you're doing. For your own sake and your own benefit and your own balance, I'm going to be the one who puts you in check and makes you get right again. Sometimes that needs, and some of us are like, well, I don't really want to say anything, and it's not my place. No, it's our place. We're a community. Just like when people, I get grief from people when some little kid somewhere, and I'm like, no, you need to get up, and they're like, don't talk to my child like that. No, that's my child too. You need to get up, and I'm talking to you directly because I am your mother, just like everybody else out here is your mother, and don't take away my motherhood role from that little kid. You're not taking that from me. But some of us are getting to the point of being comfortable doing that with other people's children, but we don't want to do that with other adults. And the same thing, then in the healing balance, you see some little kid, something happens out in the street, and it's like, oh man, wow, that's terrible what just happened. Did you say, I saw this kid today? No, you need to go over there, you need to pick up that child, help them, hold them, find their way, find out who they're with, where are you supposed to be? I'm that one. I'm taking care of everybody, help, heal, hold. But when the time comes also to say something, you have to be able to be in all capacity. And again, so it's easy when we recognize it with children, but a lot of times with adults, all of us are healing. There's a little child stuck in all of us from all the stuff that we went through in our past that still hasn't healed yet, that needs to be resolved. So we need to take that same capacity where we could take another child and be like, hey, sweetie, are you all right? Where do I need to take you? Where are you trying to go? And take that same thing and take it to an adult. Hey, are you okay? No, what's really wrong? Tell me. Don't say okay and smile. Tell me what's really going on. Am I? Do I need to be quiet? Don't worry. Don't be hard. Don't be afraid to chop me down now. Yes.
I ask a question about, I think I could have already mentioned it before I got here, is the lungs. Is lungs associated with grief? Because I know friends that have cancer, and they always go back to lung cancer, and they never smoke.
Yes.
Yeah,
that is very much so. And in fact, smoking is another sign of lung grief, because you're trying to put something in there, but you're trying to make the lungs do something. But nobody ever does that with, I should just take some yogic breath. While they're on the subway, people are like, yeah, that's not cool, that doesn't look cool. But this looks socially acceptable. So the lungs are trying to get back somewhere, so you're giving it a function. You give the lungs a function by having to inhale smoke. And so a lot of people say, but of course, the functions of these imbalanced society, the functions of using their tools will kill us. Same thing like the liver. I need an energy pop. The lungs need me. Lungs are calling me. They need help. Oh, I need an energy pop. Boom, smoke a joint. Boom, take a drink. So we're giving that energy pop, but it's not healing us. It's not taking us anywhere.
If someone never smoked before but had lung cancer, that's still
grief.
Okay.
Yeah, and cancer itself is specifically of also not wanting to face what the body's message is actually saying. So like all these cancers, like for example, my mother died of breast cancer. Breasts, of course, and uterus, feminine, breast, ovaries. When my father was all over the place, which is another reason, on the sexual health thing, we have to realize, what we're doing and what the effects of the things we're doing are. My father was all over the place. He left my mother, he didn't leave. My mother left him, but he was cheating on her, and she absorbed it into her. Her feminine essence was destroyed, and she got breast cancer because of that. But she didn't want to accept the fact that she was like, I'm strong, and I don't need him, and I don't care, and I didn't need him anyway, and I'm just gonna get a better man. She didn't want to face her own pain and say, something, I'm crushed by that. Why did he take away my feminine power? Why did he destroy me? Why did he negate me? She didn't want to face that. So instead of facing it, her breath spoke the message and said, why did you destroy me? Why did you hurt me? And she died. My mother died at 32 years old. She got breast cancer when she was 28. And by 32 she was dead. So Yeah, like if you don't want to speak your story, your body's going to speak the story for you. So, you know, we got one way or the other to go. So yes. Sorry, before I talk it out, before I get this photo. Thank you. Thank you, everybody.